Hello and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Shipyard Challenge. So today's challenge is actually my own idea, and you might recognize this matchup. We did it a couple of weeks ago with the single versus quad barrel ships. I brought back the same two battlecruisers, but with a twist. I've given them both double barrel turrets, same 17-inch guns. I've well, the Chinese and the Italian guns they have a little bit different base stats, but I've tried to make them as similar as possible. So both have around 28-kilometer AP range and 40-second reload. The Italian ones, even though they're a bit shorter, they actually outrange the Chinese ones just a little bit, and they fired just a little bit faster. But it was as close as I could get them. You may also notice that the Chinese ship, for some reason, weighs 1,000 tons less, but they're close enough. I don't think that will be the deciding factor. What will decide things is what we're gonna do with them from here. There's some weight left to spend on both ships, and that's what we're gonna do, because we're gonna test Citadel 4 versus Citadel 5. Let's see, the Italian one can have Citadel 5, I think. So both start out at more or less the same starting weight. For the Chinese one, I think I will have the ending weight be at 74,000, just to compensate for it being slightly lighter for some reason. But what to do with the armor now? So, Citadel 4, Citadel 5. It's not really clear which one is the better one. Well, for some ships, it is. If you're building a light cruiser with low resistance, for example, you're not really going to gain that much from the resistance buff in from Citadel 4, because you're still not going to have enough resistance for it to actually matter that much, and you would maybe rather have the third inner belt and better protection for your magazines and engines and stuff, which you get from Citadel 5, aka all or nothing armor scheme, which is maybe a little bit misleading in terms of names, because there's nothing preventing you from using Citadel 5 and armoring your ship not in an all or nothing fashion, or using Citadel 4 and going for an all or nothing armor scheme. That's really up to you what you do here. But these stats here are different. Turtleback, a lot more resistance bonus. Citadel 5, a lot more engine and flash fire mitigation. So, what to do with the armor? The way Citadel armor layers work is a little bit counterintuitive. It doesn't work as maybe you would think it would work, or the way it should have worked, in my opinion. If you have, for example, a 10-inch main belt, and you add 5 inches to the first inner layer, you maybe think, oh, 10 plus 5, that's 15. Well, not really, because the shell will first pass through your 10-inch main armor belt, and already there you get a partial penetration result, so you do take some damage from that. Then it will hit the first layer, and it will have lost 50% of its shell penetrating power, no matter how much main belt armor it punched through. But if it could punch through 10 inches of main belt, well, 5 is half of 10. So even if the penetrating power is halved, then it can still punch through that just as fine. So it doesn't really give you anything. One way to think about it is that these 5 inches of first Citadel layer belt armor is equally effective to 10 inches of main belt armor. So, but that is the same. The shell could already penetrate that, so it can go through that. So it doesn't really give you anything. It just makes your ship a little bit heavier. So the second layer, there the shell has lost 75% of its penetrating power, no matter how much armor it passed through here. Like, it may have passed through 15 inches, or equal to 20 inches, but we already saw it had enough power to punch through 10 inches. So, can we make this equal to more than 10? Yes. That would be equal to 16, actually. So now we're actually getting a bit of armor here. But if you only have 2 layers of armor, let's see, now the ship weighs 68,337 tons. Can we get to 16 inches just by armoring the main belt? Yes. We can actually make it even heavier for the same amount of weight. Let's keep going here. So we had 5 and we had 4. How about the third layer? So here the shell would have lost 90% of its penetrating power, no matter how many layers it passed through or how thick they were. How thick can we make this? 3.2. So we can multiply that by 10 to find the actual effective protection given by these 3.2 inches, and that is 32 inches. Can we get to 32 inches on the main belt? No, we cannot. So that is the use case for Citadel 5. You can armor up this third layer a lot and become very, very hard to kill. So that's what we're going to do for this one, which has Citadel 5. In fact, we can armor it up more now. There we go. 40 equal to for the third inner belt. That is pretty good. Let's do some for the deck armor as well. 26 inches equivalent for the deck armor. That is pretty good. And in addition, flash fire chance is pretty good, because you get some flash fire protection from Citadel 5. Well, you get some from Citadel 4 too, but not that good. So, yeah, let's spend the rest of our tonnage armoring up this boat, focusing mainly on the inner layers. Do I want more than that even? I mean, we can keep going. There's lots of weight left to spend here. 45. Nice. Okay, it tops out there because, well, the actual main deck isn't that thick. Yeah, there's actually a lot of weight left to spend here. But I don't really want to make the ships too different other than the Citadel layer. So we're going to say that is good for now. And we're now going to armor up the Chinese ship. And it will use Citadel 4. So again, no real point in armoring up these layers here. But we can go thicker on the main belts because the maximum armor you can put on the belt is in part decided by the resistance value of the ship, which is higher with Citadel IV. So you can go thicker on the armor belt. On the Italian ship, it maxed out at 17.7. Here it maxes out at 19. Let's armor up the main deck as well. Let's see, what is the resistance of this ship now? 165, that is minus 81% gun damage. And you can see there, plus 123% maximum armor. And the slope design, which increases ricochet chance, is plus 147. On the Italian one, which has less resistance, only 152, that's minus 72% gun damage. That's still pretty good. So that's why I wanted to use this hull, because it's kind of an edge case where both types of Citadel armor could work. And the flashfire chance is a bit higher, 2.8 instead of 1.9. So the Italian ship was at, let me just check it again, 73,000 tons. Let's armor up the Chinese one to 72,000. Because it started out at 1,000 tons lighter just for the because of the difference in the Chinese and the Italian gun models, but I wanted them to be similar enough in terms of firepower. You can't really do mirror matchups in this game, so Italian versus Italian or Chinese versus Chinese is not possible. So it just it is what it is. Could actually armor up the fore and aft belts too, seeing as this is not a all or nothing ship. So already breaking my promise of trying to make the armor similar enough outside of the Citadel. Let's see, 72,000 was my target. Close enough, I think. Yeah, main belt maxes out at 19. There are a lot of hulls out there where you can go way thicker on the main belts than 19. Again, that is kind of dependent on the resistance values. So on the ships where you would definitely want to have Citadel IV, you can armor up the main belt to a level where you hopefully would not need the inner layers. But that's what it is. We're going to leave these at 0.1 and test it out. I'm going to do 2 matches. First I'm going to play the Chinese... oh wait, that's the enemy ship. Yeah, first going to play the Italians versus the Chinese, and then other way around. And if they hadn't removed that feature from the game, I would do a third round where both teams were under AI control and just watch. But we can't do that anymore because I don't know why. It was removed anyway. Here we go. Let's see if my very thick inner layers can keep me safe. In terms of firepower, we are similar enough. Maybe I shouldn't have set the starting range to 40 kilometers when the gun range isn't even that long. I'm just gonna have to sail closer then. Turn in and sail parallel. There we go. We are in range. We are firing. Both my ships are focusing Zhongshan. Both their ships are focusing Monarcha. That is fine. And they are doing more damage to me just in terms of raw numbers. Which makes sense. They have better like damage reduction. They have a higher chance of their guns just exploding or something. We have switched targets for some reason. Switch it back. Yeah, it's because Zhongshan is retreating to the back of the line. Monarcha is hurting quite badly. So Monarcha target Tengzhou. And Monarcha has lost a turret. It didn't explode though, but it took a lot of the ammo with it. And Monarcha is down to HE only. I think first round goes to the Chinese. Unless we can get some lucky flash fires. Having one ship firing on each, so it's two 1v1 duels going on here. Which is okay. Really want to do any like very fancy maneuvers here because I want to keep it as similar as possible for both matches here. We are damaging their main guns, but it's and yes, I did give these ones better turret armor. I just had to have something to spend that weight on. Couldn't add any more to the main belt. We did see a little bit of engine damage there, but it seemed like it, yeah, instantly got repaired. Engine 3 got damaged and then repaired again. Yeah, Monarcha is, yeah, incapacitated. So her main role now is just to make sure that Giscardo does not take too many hits and can keep firing at the enemy uninterrupted. Main tower on Zhongshan taken out. She's also lost a turret, but again didn't explode. Another engine damage, but it got repaired. She is flooding. Maybe Italy has a chance. There we go, engine is out. Conning tower is out. She's effectively out of the match. Now Descardo can start working on Tengzhou. Monarcha is also effectively out of the match, but again, her main role now is just be a punching bag. Ricochet. There's that. Ricochet chance coming into play with AP. Now, if we can get lucky, call some flash fires. Monarcha goes down. Means no more human shield for Giscardo. It's a 1v1. And if she can pull it off, sink Tengzhou, should be easy enough to come back and sink Zhongshan. She did take some pretty serious damage there from that one salvo. Down to 14 kilometers. And at this range we can go through that main belt quite comfortably. Well, they're gonna actually struggle to go through the third inner citadel layer. Yeah, we might pull it off. Tengzhou has her main tower out. So an option now is actually to retreat and fight at range. And they're gonna struggle to hit me, or even spot me. Engine damage on Tengzhou. Got fixed. Turn and sail parallel. Both my funnels are out. And I'm flooding quite a bit. Tengzhou is not doing much better. She's retained more structural integrity. I'm angled over too much. I fire at this angle. John is still incapacitated, but Tengzhou is now the problem. There we go. Found an angle. I put a lot of my guns out of commission though. Let's just stay at this angle for a little bit. Damage difference is quite drastic though. The Chinese have done twice the amount of damage in numbers that the Italians have. And they have sunk Monarcha. Well, again, I switched fire away from Zhongzhan just when she was no longer a an actual threat. If they had done the same when Monarcha stopped firing, Viscardo might have already been incapacitated or sunk. I think I'm going to run out of AP here. Tengzhou is not firing back either. I'm also having issues with the angle. Let's say closer, but in reverse. There you go. Another floating hit. Finally getting some effective hits on target. Now it's Zhongzhan firing back. Only one shot though. Okay, let's actually sink the Zhongzhan. Just to get her out of the match. Out of AP, of course. Still doing some damage. Tengzhou still has plenty of AP shells left. putting them to good use. Yeah, pretty even though, all things considered. I do think the Chinese will win this with their Citadel IV, Turtleback, all over heavy armor kind of scheme. See, once this match has ended one way or another, going back and switching teams, if playing the Chinese manually, if that will be a more clear victory or if it's still gonna be even. I don't know. Very intermittent firing from the Chinese ships. Ah, sank due to heavy flooding. Alright. That was round 1. Let's reduce the starting range just a little bit. Let's see. Italy and China. Same 2 ships. Citadel IV. No inner armor layers, but heavier main belt and main deck. And some heavier extended belts too, just because I had to spend that weight on something. Versus the Italian battlecruiser, almost identical, except for having the Citadel V Citadel with heavy inner layers. And this should equal 45 inches of belt armor, which should keep the engines and the magazines safe, and at least until the ship starts flooding and the engine can't keep going. Let's go. Alright. Alright, Tengshu. Let's see, which way are the enemy ships sailing? This way. I'm gonna do it pretty much the same way. Turn in and sail parallel to the enemy ships. And then just trade blows until someone blows up. Simple tactic, but and we start out with both my ships focusing the lead ship, the Capitana. This time we are in the lead in the damage race. Enemy shells ricocheting off the armor. Keep focusing that ship. Actually, Tengshu, you can target Monarca. Capitana with some serious flooding. Might be incapacitated soon. He's firing back at Pyongyang though. Not the lead ship. But with the amount of flooding she's taken, she's not going to be firing for long, I think. It's going to be unable to fire due to angle very soon. There she goes. Angle. No? Still firing. Like intermittent. I have to give her a couple more salvos to neutralize her. Throw a main gun on Capitana. Okay, now both Monarcha, because it is still a threat. Capitana might actually sink. Yeah, I think she's sinking. Capitana sunk. Just the Monarcha left then. Secondary tower is out. On Monarcha. Rudder. Main guns are damaged, but still operational. That's a lot of flooding damage taken. And yeah, she's gonna sink. There she goes. Alright. Quite overwhelming victory to the Chinese this time. Pretty big differences in damage dealt and damage received. So, yeah. 92% base resistance. Just around the point at which I think Citadel IV, the Turtleback, starts being better in terms of protection. Had it been 80 base resistance for the modern battlecruiser 1, yeah, maybe the extra resistance from Citadel 4 wouldn't have made such a big difference. And Citadel 5 would have been better. For something like this, with 65 base resistance, definitely Citadel 5, yeah. Because then I don't think you would be able to put much meaningful armor on the actual main belt and main deck anyway. So you would actually really need that third layer. Not to mention the engine and magazine protection. But that's it for this time. Do you want to see me do anything more with these two almost identical ships? Tell me in the comments below. Or do you want to see me test the two Citadel layer types on some other different hulls, or maybe you have a completely different idea that you would like to see, or a specific challenge, or something. Comment down below. Maybe even leave a like. I don't think I've told anyone to leave a like before, but if I'm gonna be shilling for comments, why not? Goodbye, and take care.